It looks like things are getting a little bit out of hand on the Korean peninsula as North Korea just launched, as of tonight, 10 missiles towards South Korea. My name is Tom. I'm reporting with the Daily Beltway. If it's your first time here, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button down below and the notification bell so you can stay up to date on all the latest breaking news. For years, the tensions between North and South Korea, for I think 70 years, almost approximately, since the 1950s, when the Korean Wars ended, the tensions have been incredibly high. There's been a demilitarized zone between the North and South Korea, and there are guards 24/7 with weapons pointed at each other constantly. Recently, North Korea has acquired nuclear weapons. They are not shy about testing them. But amid all the crazy tensions between China and Taiwan and Russia and Ukraine, now we've got Iran and the oil fields, and the United States sending in F-22 Raptors to try to control that. North Korea's leader Kim Jong-un is kind of looking for a little bit of attention, so he's been launching an absolute barrage of missiles towards South Korea. But he did a few things that he's never done before tonight, and we're going to get into this literal late breaking news. It is 11 o'clock p.m. Central Time as I'm recording this, and if you guys have noticed, I haven't posted for a week. I've been crazy busy with work, and I'm just really not feeling well. So come after the end of my day, recording has been a little bit difficult. So thank you for bearing with me, and thanks for all the returning subscribers. We hit 3,500 recently. We're a new news channel, and I'm trying to bring to you guys the best news that I possibly can. So provide me input in the comments down below and share this everywhere you can, because I'm trying to grow and I really want to do the best job that I possibly can. We're going to have some cool people coming on to help report, but we're going to get back to the absolutely insane breaking news. This guy right here, look at his little face. He kind of looks like a little, they call him all sorts of bad names. We're going to be reporting from CNN tonight, as it says, North Korea fires 10 missiles, South Korea states. And it's more than South Korea, it's the international world. It's so much so that the United States is now flying intercept missions between North and South Korea just to have an established air presence in case North Korea decides to take any further action. And as well as North and South Korea has stated that they are going to have appropriate withdrawal, appropriate repercussions for North Korea. So as you guys can see, I'm still not 100% better. There's a crazy RSV thing going on, so I've been kind of sick. But they're demanding and saying that they are going to retaliate against North Korea. We're going to get into that. I've got quite a few articles and a lot of tweets as things are literally breaking as we're talking about it. It says, Seoul, South Korea, CNN, North Korea fired at least 10 missiles of various types from its east and west coast on Wednesday, South Korea's Ministry of National Defense said. South Korea's Joint Chiefs of Staff said that the launches mark the first time a North Korean ballistic missile has fallen close to South Korea's territorial waters south of the northern line limit. Since the division of Korea. The barrage of missile tests set off an air raid warning in South Korea's Ulleungdo Island that sits about 120 kilometers east of the Korean peninsula. JCS said that one short-range ballistic missile fell in the international waters 167 kilometers, or 104 miles for those of us in the United States, northward of the island. Wednesday's launch is North Korea's 29th this year, according to a CNN count, and comes after the United States and South Korea began previously scheduled military exercises called Vigilant Storm on Tuesday. We are going to cut to a video that is put out by, I believe, a South Korean news source that is talking a little bit about that exercise. Let's go ahead and cut over.
The North has threatened to unleash a powerful response if Seoul and Washington attempt to use armed force against the regime. It also criticized the two allies' joint air drills, calling them, quote, aggressive and provocative. Kim Yo-sun has the details.
A senior North Korean government official has warned that South Korea and the U.S. will have to pay the most horrific price in history if they attempt to use military force against Pyongyang. That's according to the North state-run news agency on Tuesday, reporting remarks made by Park Jung-chun, secretary of the Central Committee of the Workers' Party of Korea. He also added that it would be a big mistake to accept this as a threat warning only. Regarding the ongoing aerial drills between Seoul and Washington, the North Korean officials said they are aggressive and provocative, adding that they are preparations for a possible invasion of the North. North Korea's foreign ministry also said in a statement Tuesday that the regime will pursue more powerful follow-up measures if the U.S. continues with its grave military provocations. The statement also called for the U.S. to immediately halt.
I mean, I will say we do provoke them a little bit, but I mean, we have to absolutely let North Korea know that they will become the world's largest parking lot if they continue all the BS that this little twerp leader is doing. The kid's in his 30s, and he's got Dennis Rodman and stuff visiting, and now he's got his access to nuclear weapons, so he just thinks he's God's gift to the world. We're going to continue.
Its useless and ineffective war exercises. To this, White House National Security Council spokeswoman Adrienne Watson said that the joint exercises are, quote, part of an annual routine training schedule. The drills, she said, are aimed at bolstering defense ties between the two allies.
So we're going to cut over to, if you guys look right here, so that image on the screen, that is where the missile landed inside the waters, just outside of the international boundary for where international waters, I believe it's 27 miles off the coast of any country or something close to. Please correct me if I'm wrong. It's somewhere close to that. Off the coast of most countries, that is where international waters begin. That's why you can take a boat out and go have a little bit of fun out in some of those areas. We're going to get back into rising tensions. It says experts have previously told CNN that North Korea leader Kim Jong-un could be sending a message by deliberately showcasing the nation's arsenal during a period of heightened global conflict. We just talked about that. Last month, North Korean state media broke 6 months of silence over this year's spat of missile tests, claiming they were meant to demonstrate Pyongyang's readiness to fire tactical nuclear warheads at potential targets in the south. I mean, they will become the world's biggest parking lot. If they think that's what's going to happen, okay, they'll just get flattened. I mean, there won't even be anything left of North Korea, which is sad for the people because the people have been repressed so much for so long. It's just so sad what that guy does to those people. Not just him, his dad, Kim Jong-il, his father was, he was born with birds singing and all these like crazy stories. The clouds parted. Apparently, this chubby prick, his first time out golfing, he golfed a hole-in-one on everything because he's just perfect at everything. Clearly, we've all golfed perfect games. Everything's a hole-in-one. Yeah, we'll go with that. We are following this very, very closely. We hope that it doesn't happen, but indications, unfortunately, go in another direction, says International Atomic Energy Agency Chief Rafael Grossi said that last Thursday. Scary part, Japan's response. Speaking Wednesday, Japanese Prime Minister Fumio Kishida told reporters that North Korea is launching missiles at an unprecedentedly high frequency. It's because the United States has weak leadership. Kishida also for a National Security Council meeting to be held as soon as possible. And this was written a little bit earlier today. Japan did have their Security Council meeting, and they are on full readiness state level, I think 2. South Korea just announced that their state readiness level is now at level 2, which is incredibly high. So like the whole point of North Korea doing all these things is just to piss off the South, which is what they're doing, and they're making the international community pay attention to him, which is what he's doing, and that's what's happening. But, the North Korea, even though, they're a bit, stuck in the 1950s and their technology sucks, they do have tens of thousands of artillery pieces within striking distance of Seoul, which is the capital of South Korea. So if, let's say, everybody's like, well, how come we don't just take out North Korea? The problem is you can't take out 10,000 artillery pieces in such a quick succession. There's going to be civilian casualties. Everybody's like, oh no, just level it, drop nukes. You can't do that because the weather trends and how the air things go, the fallout's going to affect South Korea. And we don't want to kill that many civilians. That would just be a horrible thing to happen. We really, really don't want to do that. So we would have to have an overwhelming amount of stealth fighters going out and literally just carpet bombing the crap out of those artillery pieces. And then since we don't have too many stealth bombers, of which we have the most in the world, but the amount of artillery, the amount of firepower we would have to bring to just neutralize that one portion of North Korea's military before it caused catastrophic harm to South Korea would be an overwhelming effort for us. That's the North. I mean, it would take literally like 5 countries worth of air forces and bombers to neutralize just the artillery pieces. That doesn't include the short-range missiles, the ICBMs that they have, the nukes, the million-man standing army that they have right there. It would just, it would not be as easy as people think. And there's quite a few military experts that will agree with 100% on that. We're going to come over to Faticus News on Twitter. He says, breaking, South Korea fires missiles towards north of the maritime border with North Korea in response to North Korean missile launches, South Korea's JCS says. So South Korea is just as of 50 minutes ago fired back missiles at North Korea. It says South Korea's military launches 3 air-to-ground counter-fire missiles in conjunction with fighter jets in high seas north of the limit line, meaning that they crossed into North Korea to do these tests to show North Korea that they can cross their lines at any moment. That is an unprecedented, within the last 20 years or so, escalation. And over the last couple of weeks, they've been firing warning shots back and forth on the DMZ, and things have been heating up dramatically. I think it's quite convenient that all these wars are starting right in the middle of an election season, but hey, what a better time to do it. We're going to cut over to Endgame World War III on Twitter, and if you guys don't follow them, please do. I mean, these guys, they do an excellent job of even like missile alerts and things like that getting put out. They do wonderful things. It says, breaking, South Korea closes some air routines off, some air routes in the sea off its east coast after North Korea's missile fire, which is something they don't do often. They went on to continue as of 26 minutes ago. Senior spokesman for South Korea's ruling party, this can be regarded as a direct attack on South Korea. Something they have never said, or haven't said in a very long time, if they have said it at all ever. North Korea will pay a corresponding price for today's reckless provocation. We cannot tolerate North Korea's additional provocation and a 7th nuclear test. Things are getting absolutely crazy. I'm going to refresh it because this is like absolutely breaking. And I'm sorry that I'm even on Twitter. Usually I'll cut the screenshot so you guys can see it. Nothing is broken in the last few minutes. And again, we're cutting over to the picture. It says, per South Korea's JCS, one North Korean SRBM landed 57 kilometers east of Sokcho, South Korea, which is a small island on that side of South Korea. And that is close. I mean, those people, can you imagine living in there? Air raid sirens are going off. You're freaking out. And all of a sudden you see a jet coming in the sky, like the missile stuff coming in the sky. It's crazy. As of 9:40 p.m., it says South Korea's President Yoon calls for swift action to make North Korea pay the price for missile launch, considering that the Democratic People's Republic of Korea fired missiles into Republic of Korea waters. If Republic of Korea military just conducts fire drill into ROK waters, will not be seen as much as punishment unless ROK military does counterfire across NLL water. A lot of abbreviations there, but it's very pertinent to how crazy this situation is right now. And we're coming to a South Korean news source. I know this is going to go a little bit long. We're about 13 minutes so far. You guys just hang tight. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. And we're going to come into this last piece of it here. It states that precise fire at a distance corresponding to the area where North Korea's provocation missiles fell. Military launches 3 air-to-surface missiles in the high seas north of the NLL. It says, Seoul, reporter Lee Sang-hyun Kim Ji-hyun, the Joint Chiefs of Staff fired an air-to-surface missile into the high seas of the north of the LLL in response to North Korea's launch of ballistic missiles south of the northern limit line. That's why all the acronyms, because these are just long words for things that are just pretty lines in the sand type stuff. It says the South Korean military has conducted precision air-to-ground missile firing by our Air Force in response to North Korea's launch of short-range ballistic missiles today. I mean, again, it's like a giant pissing match. You know, okay, they shoot those things over, then these guys respond with something, then Kim Jong-un's going to get a little pissed off. He's going to shoot some stuff, I almost swore, some stuff back, and like maybe put the balls away for a few minutes, guys, and figure out what's going on. Yeah, North Korea wants to take over, make it a communist state. South Korea will never capitulate to it. If you look at the satellite maps of North Korea compared to South Korea, South Korea's got plenty of lights and it's modern and people got their phones and everybody's happy. North Korea, people are starving to death. I think the South Korea is probably doing a little bit better than North Korea, which Kim Jong-un does not want his people to know. That is why it's one of the most restrictive, reclusive states in the countries in the entire world. They continue with talking about how they fired missiles and everybody's getting in a giant pissing match back and forth. I do know President Joe Biden has been briefed on the situation. Things are getting a little bit crazier as we speak, and I know by tomorrow morning that probably nothing will have changed. Maybe it'll go back to 6 months of silence. Let me know your comments, your thoughts in the comments below, guys. And what do you think? Is this the signal for another larger conflict? How does China sit in all this? China's been a pretty good partner with North Korea, and North Korea's been trading fuel and other things with Russia. And then you got Iran, who made a lot of threats about, blowing up some of the critical infrastructure in Saudi Arabia. The threats were credible enough that we had to move F-22s. It seems like the world is quickly sprinting towards World War III. And with America and the rest of the world falling into a depression, as most of you know, the only way to get out of a depression is by getting into a giant singular war where we can erase a bunch of debt, spend tons of money, and make the world forget about all of our problems for a little bit. Hit that subscribe button down below. God bless America.